yet another new sport in England. No, it's not blowing up a colorful floaty thing. It's human foosball. These folks aren't extreme sports psychos. They're seasoned veterans of many a pub game. They're strapped onto the bars. Then the ref gives the rules.
No handballing, no heading. Winning team's obviously the team with the most goals. Ready?
We'll get the cameraman.
Play on. Don't head
The
it.
game lasts 6 minutes, but we'll spare you. It's just too stupid. The action is fast and furious. Manchester United is making a run. They break through the defense and goal! Let's review that on our instant replay. That kind of sucked. Human foosball. Another sport for people with too much time and too much beer. Although identified as such, the individuals in the following video are not actually celebrities or members of the British royal family. They are, in fact, just a bunch of morons. Extreme Sports Psychos, direct from Leicestershire, England. It's the Celebrity Catapult Championships. This year, they're aiming away from the nuclear cooling towers after last year's incident. The first contestant is Prince Charles. Let's see that again. Next up, Ginger Spice. Here goes the lovely Catherine Zeta-Jones. Next to be launched is two-time Oscar winner Michael Caine. And finally, it's Queen Elizabeth II. She loves a good catapult. Once more. Yo, Queen, you rock! And now we move on to another benighted place, Texas. Watch this, especially if you hate those losers from the Renaissance Fair. Taking a cue from their benighted brothers in England, these Texans get medieval on each other. It's jousting for dollars. Back in the day, a lot of folks got hurt doing this. Hey, come on, let's bring it back. King Arthur's Kevlar is 50 pounds of stainless steel, and that doesn't include the codpiece. Boom! That boy takes one in the face. I'll bet that hurt. Hey, how about another? Bam! Hey, let's slow it down and savor it. Oh! Sir Lancelot here's going, man, this sucks. I'm gonna go play the lute. Our picks for the ultimate extreme sports psychos. Number 3. If you're a wave worshiper, you celebrate Biggest Wednesday. The day Maui got rocked by some of the largest waves ever seen. 50-foot walls of water. To a psycho surfer, that can mean only one thing. Hit the beaches and hit them hard. These monsters had surfers facing death with every ride.
It was almost like a cartoon on how small he was on the size of that wall, that face of a wave.
This beach is called Jaws, because these killer waves will swallow you whole. Forget about paddling onto them. The only way to catch one is to be towed out by a jet ski. The surfers dropped off, and the jet ski races to shore. They always make it back without a problem, but not on Biggest Wednesday. Today, nothing is safe in the water.
Our machine can outrun anything we've ever encountered before. You just keep going out in front of it and around.
Before.
I kept looking at this wave and I realized that it was getting closer, you know, instead of further away. I just thought, oh my God, this thing, I think it's gonna get me. And next thing I knew, the white waters engulfed me.
I turn around to see this purple seat, which is the seat of our jet ski. And then I knew that Tony had been mowed down.
That tiny speck right there is Tony on his jet ski. He's completely chewed up by the crushing surf. Somehow he survived. These dudes are some serious extreme sports psychos. And number 2 on our X list. A story of courage unlike any other, as 2 women triathletes push themselves to the edge just to come in 4th place. It's the Hawaii Ironman competition, a triathlon event consisting of a 2.5-mile swim, a 112-mile bicycle race, and a 26-mile marathon all in the same day. It's the ultimate test of endurance. Wendy Ingraham and Sean Welch have been battling it out all day. They've covered 130 miles, and there's less than 100 feet to go when their bodies suddenly say, no more. They start shutting down. They're completely spent and wasted. They have the will of champions, but the bodies of Gumby. These are world-class athletes, pushing themselves beyond the limits. Fighters, determined to cross the finish line even if it kills them.
I had nothing left in my body to get me there. I think it was just 100% will getting to the finish line at that point. My whole body started to fall apart on me.
Sean was out in front, but Wendy was closing in.
I had cramps in my legs so bad. I was just praying that I could take that next step to get closer to the line.
With less than 50 feet to go, Sean went crashing down and took Wendy with her.
When I took that side step to avoid Sean, that was enough to throw me off, and I fell down. And I was just like, okay, think fast, try to get up. And I couldn't do it, and I'm like, okay, crawl.
We both fell about the same point in the race, and we got up at the same time, and then we both fell again. It was amazing. Then I tried to get up once more, and Wendy had the bright idea of just crawling, not getting up and trying to run.
It became a crawl to the finish, with Wendy crossing first.
After I crossed the line, I'm like, the race is over, and now I can let my compassion roll out. She's my friend, and I wanted to help her across.
She was just holding her hands out to me and willing me to the finish line. And as soon as I touched the finish line, I kind of just passed out and laid down. It touched me how my fiercest competitor that day was my best friend, too. I will do Ironman again. It's the pinnacle.
2 of the toughest and gutsiest extreme sports psychos you'll ever see. And number 1 on our X list, the ultimate adventurer who paid the ultimate price, Dan Osman. He thought of himself as invincible. He died doing what he does best. Here Dan is attempting to do something never done before. Climb the face of a rushing waterfall using no ropes, no safety devices. Armed with only 2 tiny ice picks, it's Dan Osman versus a thundering wall of freezing water. Man versus the brutal forces of nature. Let's see who wins this mismatch. Dan claims victory, but another more extreme challenge awaits this extreme athlete. This is X-List Material Supreme. Dan Osman is one of the world's best free climbers. Free as in no ropes, no safety harnesses. Equipment, his hands and feet.
And what I'm doing is what you call hand jams, where you stick your hand in flat and you make a cup like this so that you get pressure on each side of the crack, and you're expanding your hand in there to give yourself a hold.
Today, he's scaling the sheer wall of a 200-foot tall rock in California's Joshua Tree National Monument. 90 degrees straight up. Dan agreed to carry a camera.
This is the first time I've climbed with a helmet cam.
The images are raw and terrifying. This is the climb through the eyes and words of Dan Osman. Some of his last words ever recorded on tape.
I've always sort of gotten off on scaring myself a little bit, you know. Sometimes you just get really comfortable, like zero fear. I feel so comfortable that I just kind of look down and go, okay, we got to kind of get a little fear going so we can be a little bit more awake. But in a jam, I could actually hang longer in a hand crack by one hand. It's kind of odd how that works. I had a very close call once. I mean, where the crack pinches off, where you can only get your tips of your fingers in like this. And I looked down, and next thing I know, I realized, hey, I'm 100 feet off the ground here, and my tips are coming out, and I'm just thinking, ah. And so I could feel my arms petering out and my feet starting to shake, and I just had to shoot for the hold and grab the top and get up there and freaked out. And basically what I realized is that you have to know absolutely for sure that you can get to the top without, coming across that kind of a situation.
Dan has reached the top. He must now climb back down.
I think about, well, when I get older, maybe my body won't be able to keep up with it. Eventually, I'm going to have to stop. That'll be a day of great satisfaction, actually, because I'll know that I've done everything that I've wanted to do, and now it's time to do other things.
Dan never lived to see that day. 8 months after making this climb, Dan died while attempting to set a new record in the extreme sport of cliff diving. His safety rope snapped while leaping off an 1,100-foot mountain in Yosemite National Park. Dan Osman, the ultimate extreme athlete, maximum